Hello, this is Pigsy doing another video. How are you? Hope you're well. Probably be a fairly quick one. That's it, cool. So, a few things going on today. Little boy next to the road, that's fine. Right, so the first thing is I've been taking a lot of gold. I had a lot of gold, colloidal gold anyway, I knocked up. And there could be some other elements in there as well. And it could be magnesium. But to the best of my knowledge, if you had like a magnesium, okay. No, you're gonna get me killed, darling. Yeah, like somebody beckons you into the road. Come on to the road. It's like, oh, okay. And there's an oncoming car. It's like, I don't think that was a very practical thing to get me to do. Yeah, what a biatch. You might have got me to crash my car. It might be deliberate. So yeah, so basically things like milk. You got your magnesium, oxidized magnesium in there, to be honest. As well as your calcium, because it have to be bioviable, otherwise you won't be able to eat it, or it just comes straight out your body. And what I've got at the moment is that basically my body odour smells metallic, which is really weird, and there's an anatanagram, so maybe my memories are improved. And it was basically it was looking at different gold colloidals and stuff. There was stuff to copper combined with iron. So it's probably the iron in my body as well. I don't know, because it's the smell of it. The smell of it being iron. This fucking place is crazy. Let's go burn it. It seems so busy. The traffic's picked up. So the thing is, I was thinking about that. Thinking, oh god, something doesn't smell right, like aluminium or some smell like that, and so my body's probably purging it through the sweat, and you need to go through your oils. I've noticed, for instance, if I have colloidal silver, that my hair might go darker because it's combined in with the oils in my hair. So the body's excreting it through the skin. And what's quite key to learn as well, like with a sauna, the circulation increases to your skin, and you tend to expel more oils and impurities. That's what they say, because the impurities build up in the skin. So the quicker you get through your body, you can filter up with more. But the reverse of that is if you have a cold bath or a cold shower, that you're increasing circulation to your organs. So if you've got, if you're doing a detox, in your liver, say, or something like that, increasing the circulation internally will probably work better for that. But you have to be quite careful. It could be too much. Like, I've got to watch my kidneys at the moment, so I've got to check out what to do around my kidneys. So I don't really want to oversalt them. But it could be that I need more like a magnesium, something that breaks down sodium better. I look at the sodium relation in the body, just in case. I mean, the other way to do it is that some sort of ultrasonic thing. Or moving around more. If you move around a bit more, then it's always better. Other things I've learned, way to sort of biohack, is if you hold your breath when you deal with shock, which you think that makes sense, but you don't tend to do it in a kind of programmed manner. That's the thing. So, for instance, if I get into cold water, I just hold my breath. What happens is the body reacts a little bit to the stress, but it focuses because of the breath. Your mind becomes very focused on this singularity, I guess. I guess you're vulnerable when you breathe, so when you're not doing it. I may look at also if you increase oxygen, because you've got stuff to do with Wim Hof, his methods. Because he's been doing like meditation, holding his breath, inhalation method of a higher increased oxygen intake, and the cold water as well. The body responds to cold water. It's a way to sort of strengthen it internally. But it's a stressor, so like any stressor, you need to build into it gradually. You may have already a certain amount of built in anyway genetically to respond to, or just basically the environment. Your body knows how to react to temperature change. But you could exceed what it's programmed to deal with, what it's conditioned to deal with, and that could have a nasty kind of fallout from it. But you don't want that. And it probably works for other types of shock as well, so injury, psychological shocks. Most people do gasps, don't they? They go, you know, they're shocked or something happened to them. You know, they sort of hold their breath. Babies do it quite a bit as well, actually, before they let out a big scream or cry. Yeah, they get, when they're very emotionally vulnerable. It could be that they're suffering from some massive psychological pain. Like rejection for a child. Like if you're not getting your food and other things and you got really upset. Or if you injured yourself. When a kid falls over, it happens. Some other projects as well. Like in lockdown, do you have to... lots of people go jogging, right? And you know, I think, well, jog is a massive route, but if you've got a confined space, do you need to jog around the block? Could you jog for half an hour on the spot? It may be not as effective, or it could be just as effective. I mean, there's drag resistance with moving. However, you're muscular. I mean, if you've got injuries like you've got arthritis, you've got problems with skeletal issues, or you could jog on the spot with a weight of something on you. You know, there could be a whole area there to open up. But what it is about time investment. So you do the exercise, but you've got to plan to do a certain amount of it. It's got to be effective, basically. You know, I can run up 5 steps, but it's not going to have any change to me internally. I might be burning more calories. If my heart rate increases, then it's the stress level, but your body gets accustomed to things. And there's reasons why you might store fat in certain places. A, it shields certain vulnerable areas of your body. Also, it's areas of your body that you don't compromise your physical movement. So if you create something where it does, your body's got to replan and rethink about things. So that's the kind of the psychological planning behind it. So I may look at exercise I can do on the spot. Exercise is just focused. And there was stuff I was doing with my spine earlier. Just a bit like sit-ups. There's multiple different muscles getting used. There's hip flexors and there was all sorts. But I was looking at separately, like I lifted my legs up, and could you just hold that for a while? So there's a bit of yoga type stuff, or arching your back. Which muscles does that involve? So I think if you don't want wear and tear, you just basically want to be able to move it comfortably. And to be honest, outside of wear and tear, you might as well just do it with some kind of a weight or something, because you use your back muscles all the bloody time, so it's not like they don't get used. A bit like the idea of if you want to get a six-pack, you've got to do sit-ups. Well, actually you don't, because they're already there. But your sit-ups will promote muscular strengthening because of the increased level of stress, but once you've reached an optimal amount, it's not going to do any more. You know, you're just going to probably injure yourself. Yeah, you might get stronger from that if you just injure the muscles. If you injure the back, you just don't want to do any exercise. That's what happened. I mean, I knew a woman, she used to do 70 sit-ups a day, and she was in her like 60, 65, 70 years old, and now she's gone into her 70s. I mean, basically her walking was terrible, because she'd probably wrecking her back, putting a lot of pressure on some of the nerve points in her back, issues with her knee cartilage, and also skeletal muscles are fucked basically. And that's because if you're going to do something like that, you need to do the research, the physical research. And I'm just getting there really. I mean, I've done a lot of things when I was younger that have injured myself. And I'm also the type of work I do day to day. I put my back at risk doing care-related work and moving people and stuff, or pushing and pulling and all these sorts of movements. So it's just really the putting the plan together, and this kind of goes into MGTOW. I want to improve myself. I do control certain eating patterns, but I'm not going to over push it. I do the old OMAD and do some sort of fasting. You know, like now I'm probably not going to eat anything. I might work towards more home cooked food. I think there's a lot of odd stuff in food that sweeteners. I need to start writing a list of things of the no foods basically. So I've got into the habit of getting hooked on caffeine drinks, and I like a bit of chocolate, and I think, well, you can OMAD around that, but actually maybe not. Maybe I should just be thinking a bit more smart really when it comes to food. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm human, and well, as much as I'm aware of, it's a good amount of human in me anyway. Might be some other things in me, who knows? So anything else? Yeah, there might be some other little projects I do as well. I just fill you in as I get there. Anything I can tell you about my teeth, like see my teeth in at the moment. There's no issues. Hot drinks though, if they're a bit tight, have a hot drink. It softens up the plastic a bit and it will allow it to mould. When it gets cold, it shrinks. So when you warm it up, it stretches it a bit, and then it just the tension in it will be equal. It's a bit like elastic band. I mean, once the tension's equal around it, it's not a problem. But if it's unequal, the tension, then you'll feel it in a certain point, like your teeth will feel like being pushed one way or that way, or all sorts of things. So there's tips on the Insta-Smile teeth. I mean, I might do something separately about getting the moulding, getting it right, and what I learned. I can show that as videos, quite easy. Because you might not want to weigh 60 pounds, because I ended up paying probably another 60 quid. However, I saved about 20% when I first got it, so it evens out, but you don't want to go down that route. You basically want to get it all good and get your mould in, and then, just for fun and go enjoy it. I might have some other work done on my teeth, because basically these cover the front, but there's some things at the back. However, I've got to do some kind of reconstruction now. It's going to require a bigger budget, which I'll look in at a later date. I've just got to keep on top of things. I've got a steady flow of work, which is cool. However, it may change for other people. Things might change when it comes to tax and other stuff like that. You might find that firms get hit that are able to work, because the money they're creating that's going back in tax is going into benefits to support people that can't work for whatever reason. So there might be a whole change in the system. There's a lot of sort of conspiracy stuff. I mean, I don't particularly worried about corona. I think I've had it. I think that I would be quite resistant to it. I'd say rather than worrying about, tests, maybe get the vitamin C, and just be mindful of people that are vulnerable. If there's anything wrong with you, just stay away from people that are older and more vulnerable for a bit, or mask up, or whatever you need to do. If you've had the sniffles, just say to them, if like your parents or whatever, I've had a little bit of a cold, so I don't want you to get out, I'm going to wear the mask, and then just keep my distance, but it was cool. Because there's a lot of stuff in the environment, there's a lot of fear mongering, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense at the moment. I found out about like Black Lives Matter, did a bit more research in that, get an opinion from the black community about stuff, which is good. It gives me a balanced opinion. It's just that if you donate to these guys, the money's probably going into a different, but it's going to one of the political parties, it's the Democrats or something in America. Yeah, it's a bit messed up, and as a kind of, without throwing my own race into it, is that I need to understand the true meaning rather than the shock meaning. Like understand, rather than coining the words racism, racial inequality, and stuff like that. So it might be that you might say, well, they wouldn't be into that, or you know, these kind of things that would be wrong. They're not necessarily hate terms. They just maybe that they're probably wrong points of reference. And then you've got the other thing is, do people want to opportunity? So people say, well, there's not enough nurses and doctors and stuff, and you know, all these sorts of things. And it's not that. I mean, basically, the Black Lives Matter became a bit of a political tool in this bigger social economic warfare that's going on, and conditioning, etc. And I can say that because of just what I'm seeing, you know, like taking down statues, knocking them down, all these sorts of things. And so I need to be in the mindset that serves me the best. I mean, I can understand why people will feel in a certain way. You know, they feel disrespected, they feel this and that. But I live my own life. So, and I've got some other projects to work on. I'm going to be working on my own Bible, I think. So, I mean, my tip is own your own life. Own your own reality, actually, that's what I coined earlier. Own your own reality. So the teeth can play a bit of a thing with the getting tongue-tied. Own your own reality. Yeah, you do. You live by your own life, and you own your own reality. It's all yours. What you do with yourself is fine. Somebody says, no, you can't do this because of that reason, or make you feel, you know, like there's have a complex in some way about the reality, about things around you, about history, about other stuff, then it's enslavement of your free will. And what you think is what you become. So it's one of the key factors as well. You want to be in this higher state. I'm not saying other stuff didn't go on, it wasn't negative, there wasn't bad things in the world. You know, that would be just like totally delusional. But I don't have to make them a part of my day-to-day life. I don't have to be in fear of what's happening, say, another country or an issue that I've been told, because I can only control things in my reality around me. Sending money to people, that's just wasteful. I mean, the reason is because you don't control charity, so it's outside of your power. It's a position of trust, and I just can't trust them. And that's for my own personal views. I won't know anybody else, but it's just like, for example, my birthday's coming up, so Facebook is suggesting, why don't I get my friends to donate to charity? Why don't they donate to me? Not that I'm a charity. However, I can use all of that energy they've given me positive. Just send me good wishes, just think nice things. That's all I care about. Do something constructive with yourself that day. That's it. But yeah, sending off stuff and buying into all this stuff is just wrong. And people that benefit the banks, that's what it really is. Anyway, I better sign off in this video. It's been quite productive in my head, I guess. And anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.